The subtle art of not giving a F asterisk CK, Mark Manson. You find yourself standing in the middle of a bustling city square, surrounded by countless voices demanding your attention. Street performers call out for applause, vendors hawk their wares, friends text urgent requests, colleagues pile on deadlines, and social media notifications ping incessantly in your pocket. Every sound, every sight, every interaction seems to whisper the same desperate question: don't you care about this? But what if the most radical act you could perform in this moment would be to simply stop caring about most of it? At its heart, the art of not giving a care is really about the profound recognition that your emotional energy is finite, precious, and worthy of the most deliberate curation. This isn't about becoming callous or indifferent to the world around you. Rather, it's about understanding that caring deeply about everything is actually a form of caring deeply about nothing. When you scatter your concerns like seeds thrown carelessly to the wind, none take root deeply enough to flourish into something meaningful. The question that emerges from this realization cuts straight to the core of modern existence. In a world that profits from your perpetual anxiety and endless engagement, how do you reclaim the sovereignty of your own attention? The first insight that emerges when you begin to examine this principle is that most of what demands your concern exists in a realm of manufactured urgency. You start to notice how many of the things that once felt critically important were actually borrowed anxieties, inherited from a culture that thrives on your emotional investment in its endless dramas. The colleague's opinion of your presentation, the stranger's reaction to your appearance, the social cause you feel obligated to champion despite having no genuine connection to it. These concerns accumulate like dust on a windowsill, gradually obscuring your view of what actually matters to you. When you step back from this swirling chaos of external demands, something curious happens. A space opens up, quiet and still, where your authentic values can finally make themselves known. These values don't arrive with fanfare or obvious clarity. Instead, they emerge like stars becoming visible as the sun sets, always there, but only noticeable when the brighter distractions fade away. You begin to discover that your deepest cares are often simpler and more personal than you expected. The quality of your relationships, the integrity of your work, the growth of your understanding, the peace of your inner world. The paradox embedded in this practice reveals itself slowly but powerfully. The less you care about impressing others, the more genuinely impressive you become. The less you chase happiness directly, the more space you create for authentic contentment to arise naturally. The less you try to control every outcome, the more influence you actually wield over the things that matter. This isn't just clever wordplay. It's a fundamental truth about how human psychology operates. When you release the desperate grip of trying to manage everything, you free up enormous amounts of mental and emotional resources that can be redirected toward what truly deserves your investment. This selective caring becomes especially crucial when you consider the modern landscape of infinite choice and constant connectivity. You live in an era where you could theoretically care about every injustice, every opportunity, every piece of content, every relationship, every possibility that presents itself. Your ancestors cared about their immediate tribe, their harvest, their survival through the next winter. You're asked to care about global politics, environmental crises, economic fluctuations, social movements, technological changes, and the personal dramas of hundreds of acquaintances, all while maintaining your own career, health, relationships, and personal growth. The mathematics of this situation simply doesn't work. When you try to care about everything equally, you end up caring about nothing effectively. Your attention becomes so diffused that it loses all power to create meaningful change in any direction. You become like water poured onto sand, quickly absorbed and leaving no lasting trace. But when you concentrate that same caring into fewer, more carefully chosen channels, it becomes like water flowing through a carved riverbed, capable of moving mountains over time. The practice of not caring about most things simultaneously becomes a practice of caring more deeply about fewer things. You begin to understand that saying no to 99 opportunities creates space to say a truly meaningful yes to one. You realize that ignoring 99 sources of outrage allows you to channel your righteous energy into one cause where you might actually make a difference. You discover that disappointing 99 casual acquaintances creates room to show up fully for the few people who truly matter in your life. This shift requires confronting an uncomfortable truth about human nature. Your desire to care about everything often stems not from genuine compassion, but from ego, fear, or social conditioning. You want to appear informed, engaged, morally superior, or simply avoid the discomfort of being seen as someone who doesn't care enough. But this performance of caring, divorced from authentic investment, generates no real benefit for anyone. It exhausts you without creating meaningful change in the world, leaving everyone worse off than if you had simply focused your limited energy where it could actually make a difference. Perhaps the most liberating aspect of this approach emerges when you realize that choosing what not to care about is actually an expression of deeper caring. When you refuse to spend emotional energy on gossip, you're caring about the quality of your relationships. When you stop worrying about others' approval, you're caring about your authentic self-expression. When you ignore the latest manufactured controversy, you're caring about your mental peace and your ability to focus on what you can actually influence. Every strategic neglect becomes a vote for what you value most. The key insight you can carry forward is this: your caring is not unlimited, and pretending otherwise doesn't make you more compassionate, it makes you less effective. The gentle discipline of choosing your concerns with the same care you choose your closest friends transforms both your inner experience and your impact on the world. This leads to a question worth carrying with you as you navigate the endless demands on your attention. If you could only deeply care about three things for the rest of your life, what would they be? And how might that clarity change the way you spend your days? As you settle into this understanding, you might find yourself breathing a little deeper, your shoulders relaxing as they release the weight of 1,000 concerns that were never truly yours to carry. The world will continue its urgent spinning, voices will keep calling for your attention, and new crises will emerge to demand your emotional investment. But you now hold a different kind of power, the power to pause, to choose, and to direct your precious caring toward the places where it can take root and grow into something beautiful and real.